Hey everybody, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and in this video, we're continuing our 5 minutes to better lighting. So if you've been catching this and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do here today and hit that bell so you get the notification when I let the latest video out every day. Now, we talked about faders and buttons, which in Onyx, in this console in particular, are faders on the bottom here. You can see I can double click them to get a fader, or buttons here at the top, which these could be physical buttons, or in this case, they're just on the screen so I can show them to you. And we talked about the types of things that we can record to faders and the types of things that we can record to be able to get our lights on buttons. So I wanted to kind of cap this off and finish this setting up your console for success section by talking about programming styles. Because what I've shown you here is how I like to put things onto faders and onto buttons to be able to get control of different attributes of my lights, right? Position things, all my lights one color, my front lights one color, color combinations, gobos, etc., etc. But it's just an example. Your show's different though. Your show might be different. Maybe you don't want to run things on the fly, okay? And I want to talk through that because if you have a show that has a very certain flow to it, then this might not be best for you, right? You would rather be following along in your show's plan or script or whatever, outline, whatever it is, and then just fire things as you go. You could have it pre-recorded all in one place instead of having to search for what you want to play next. Now, ultimately, most of the time that I do shows, I run them like this, a punt page style show, because, and only because, it then allows me to, if something doesn't go right, I have a way to go with it, to go with the flow, to do something that wasn't in my programming and follow what's happening on stage. And having done corporate events, live music, fashion shows, weddings, and all kinds of other sorts of events as a lighting designer, I can tell you that, even the best prepared shows sometimes roll off the rails and you got to be ready for it. Actually, I have a video about that and I'll link to it here, but some things to program for when a show rolls off the rails. But regardless, should you put everything into one long cue list? Well, I want to show you an example of what that could look like just so that we're all on the same page here. All right, so this is a show. This is a really weird view. Clear. This was from before Onyx was around, so something is off here. But this was a show that I did a few years ago. Actually, it says in 2017 that I used cuelists. So let me just go ahead and pull up my cuelist values view. Yeah, there's only 4 views in here. And what I want to show you guys is basically how I set this lighting up for a show that was really well pre-rehearsed, and I knew I could program cuelists. In fact, with this show, it was like a song and dance competition, and I knew I couldn't run things on the fly. I needed to pre-record the cues in order to be able to play back everything that was being asked of me. So if you've got a show where you know what's going to happen, maybe it's more theatrical style or something similar like that, then you can go ahead, like this cue list that I just clicked on, it's got 32 cues. This one over here, it's got 69 cues. And all that I've done, and this is a big tip for you, is I go ahead and as I'm recording my cues, in this particular one, it was to a music track that may or may not have been perfectly precise. So I just literally named all my cues as I went through them. We can play through them to show you the names. I literally put the timing that it needed to be hit and a little description of what was supposed to happen and what happened in that particular cue, so that I would know what was going to happen. And as I scroll through, I can see all of my different cues here are labeled that way. So if you've got a show where you have this level of certainty as to what's going to happen, then hey, go for it. Pre-record the exact cues that you need, and you'll just be one simple button press away from bringing the right look up. However, like I showed you at the start of this, the punting type layout that I've been working with, this whole entire action plan, is really a good idea for a lot of shows, even if you just have it in your back pocket. because you never know in a show or a service or any type of production, you never know when the thing's going to go off the rails. And if you're prepared as the lighting person to deal with that and to make it look like nothing wrong happened, then you're going to get a big pat on the back at the end of the day, and you're going to be the guy that they call back when they need lighting again. So do keep that in mind, and keep in mind that tomorrow I'm going to talk about more about running things live and on the fly, and a little bit about doing that in different consoles and stuff like that. So I don't want you to miss the next two videos or the rest of this. So be sure to subscribe, and again, check out our gear guide. It's free for you to check out the latest and greatest gear that I recommend, and some oldies but goodies that are an amazing value, so that you cannot waste your money on lights that aren't a great value. I just want to recommend stuff to you that I've found out there to be the best. Awesome. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.